Welcome to Cornerstone Horsemanship. I'm Greta Cummings.
And I'm Sherry Dill Billings. If you remember last week, we had that negative 30-degree weather, so we had a quick interruption in our Softness Series. Yeah. So we're going to pick up where we left off. We're going to do a little reviews with Hank. So Hank picks up, you knew we were talking about you. And work on those exercises that we did in the first two series. And then we're going to go into the third one, which is using the bit. But we're still on the ground. We want to get as much softness on the ground before we ever have to get in the saddle.
Yeah, a wise horseman once told me, if you can't get it on the ground, you'll never get it in the saddle.
Good point, good point. So with Hank, remember it's, you know, like at feeding time and he comes in, he wants to eat, we just want to start with the nose and ask him to get out of your space. And we ask him softly and then build, and then there he drops his head. So I'm asking him first to soften his nose to my hand, but I really kind of want him to back up. So I'll ask him softly, and then I'll build, and then he drops,
And then go right back to it.
go right back to it, and ask him to back. And then maybe I just need to give him a little encouragement with a click. There. And then I let him go. That's a good one to get. So if they get kind of stiff and their feet get stuck, give them a little click, because that means, oh, I got to move my feet. But her hand's in my way, so I got to back up.
You can do this too, as we showed in that first week, on the chest, and then also on the side, just to get them soft in all different points.
Get those feet unlocked. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then the next one, if you remember, was we started right at the bottom of the halter, and we add just a light pressure and ask them to drop. Now, I put hardly any pressure on them, and if you could see, all I'm going to do is touch the knot and put the weight of my fingers on him, and then I add a little there, then he drops his head. So he's been worked with enough around here that he knows that if he has a little bit of pressure with a hand, he should stop it. Now, he's holding, so I'm not going to give up on him now. I'm going to just put a little more weight, a little more weight, a little more weight. He's a little preoccupied with something, so I'm going to ask a little. Then he gave me a little try there. Now remember, the next one is his nose comes back to his chest. So we still hang on to the knot, and we ask him to release that nose. I ask nice, slow, or softly, and then build there. He gave. And this pressure is not down. It's
Yeah, so show how that is, just to make sure everybody sees. How does that pressure go?
okay, so I'm just hanging on to the knot, and I gently push back to the point of his shoulder.
Okay.
And I start with a light pressure, and then build heavier and heavier until we can get a little bit of release.
And we want to do that both sides too, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
work both sides equally.
Let's throw the bridle on him now, and we'll go into the next step. Okay, here we are with Hank with his snaffle bit bridle. It has a slobber strap, so this gives us some good communication when we go to give the release. What we want to do is we want to grab there at the slobber strap, and we want to start softly and move our hand back to his shoulder blade and just build pressure until he gives his nose. So I'm going to start soft, softer, a little more pressure, there. And then as soon as he gives me his nose, I want to drop that rein. Dropping that rein allows that slobber strap to drop and give him a good release. So I'm going to pick it up again. There. See how quickly he came to my hand that time? He's like, oh yeah, I know this. And then we want to do it on the other side. Why don't you go ahead and do it on the other side?
Grab just below the slobber strap and pull back to the shoulder, correct?
Yep. And give a quick release as soon as he gives you his nose. The quicker you are, the quicker he'll be.
Thanks for joining us this week on our Tuesday tip. This was our third step in our Softness series of getting those horses soft.
And next week, I want to get Greta up in the saddle, and we'll start working on softness in the saddle.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yes.
May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with us.
And the horses you ride,
From our barn to yours.
So now Hank has his bridle on, and it's in a snaffle. a bridle. It's always good to teach some softness in the snaffle first before we bring in.
I'd start that over because you got real unsure of what you were saying. I got real quiet.
Yeah, I was thinking, yeah. Gently, and then build until he goes. And then as soon as I don't know if you were able to see that. I kind of wonder if we should dip this down. Let's try
That's
it
what I
again.
was just thinking of too.